Hey, you ready to shoot gear tasting?
Yeah. What episode is this?
69.
69. Hey guys, welcome to Gear Tasting. Today I wanted to start out talking about some new products we got for evaluation from Mission First Tactical. So Mission First Tactical has been around for a few years now. They've been making products in the US, kind of the accessories market for ARs and firearms like that. So what we have today to kind of check out that I want to show you guys is the Battle Link. This is their minimalist stock. And this is basically a replacement stock for AR-15, M4, HK-416, AR-15 variants, and it comes in commercial and mil spec, which I don't know many people that still run a commercial tube for their buffer tube, but if you do, they make a version for it. So this is their stock. Then also the tactical pistol grip. This is their version 2. And I like it because it has a kind of a low profile stipple look to it. So it's like they've taken a stipple pattern that many people do to their grips, and they actually put that onto the surface there. So it's not as aggressive as a stipple job, but it still has a little bit of the characteristic of that, so I do like it. It's pretty lightweight too. Both the stock and the grip are extremely lightweight. I haven't done any weight tests on them yet, but the bottom of that is hollow, in case you're wondering. So unlike like the Magpul, Myad grips and things like that, you can't replace a core. So that is the replacement for that. And then they also sent us some mags. I really like that they refer to their mags as standard capacity mags. They're not high capacity mags, obviously. A 30 round mag is perfectly acceptable unless you live in California or Colorado. But they make mags for you too. So these are some other mags they sent over to check out. So if you live in if you don't live in the United States and you live in California, there's a 10 round capacity mag for you. And if you live in Colorado, there's a 15 round capacity mag for you. And they're in the standard size, just like a 30 round mag, standard capacity mag or they come in 10 round size that, is a small mag like this in 10 round. So if you still want the 10 or 15 round mag look and you want the extra bulk and you can't have 10 or 15 or 30 round mags, you can get these. So those are options as well. But I do like that you can buy a little 10 pack like this. I thought that was kind of nifty. They kind of give you this, I already opened one of them obviously, but they give you this kind of bulk pack of mags that you can buy 10 of them for. And not that that's anything revolutionary in terms of offering 10 at a time, but I still thought it was cool that you could buy a 10 pack of those. It's very neat. I like their marketing a lot in terms of their packaging. I think it looks really well put together too. I'm kind of a big proponent of good packaging. It's something I kind of geek out on a little bit with design. But anyway, so that's Mission First Tactical. It's a couple of products that we are going to be evaluating, and I wanted to show you those on Gear Tasting. So in case you're wondering, my little name tag here doesn't stand for motherfucking Jones. It's Mission First. It's a little sticker they sent, so I thought I would wear it on Gear Tasting today. So the next thing I want to do is have some pillow talk. So I know this is a topic that you might not be that interested in, but I think it's pretty cool. I kind of geek out on weights. As you know, I'm kind of attending the Mammoth Sniper Challenge coming up, and every ounce counts. So I was in REI the other day, and it caused me to kind of rethink my pillow situation, which I talked about on the last Gear Tasting when I was specifically addressing the different things that I'm taking to Mammoth and weight reductions and things like that. So I came across this Sea to Summit pillow. It's called the Eros pillow. It's an ultralight pillow, costs way too much. I think it was like 40 bucks, 35, 40 bucks or something like that for a pillow, which, when I looked at it at the time, I was like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, that's going to save me some weight. I'm going to buy it. So that's what happened. That's how that conversation went in REI with myself. So I do want to kind of illustrate the pillow and then talk about just rehash kind of some of the stuff we've talked about in the past in terms of weight. So I've kind of gone everywhere from the super extreme and taking a Tyvek stuff sack and some Ziploc bags and filling them with air and making my own pillow, or stuffing clothing into the Tyvek stuff sack. And that gets me down to like 1.4 ounces, I think, with this. And it's super uncomfortable. I had to use 2 Ziplocs because I found that, the Ziploc deflated overnight. So I had to like inflate one, put it in another zip bag, and then hope that it held up overnight. which it never did, even in 2 Ziploc bags. So I always had problems, and I always woke up irritated at my pillow. So I experimented with the Nemo Philo a while ago. So what that looks like is it comes with its own internal stuff sack, which I do like. But it's heavy. It's like 9.8 ounces, which doesn't seem like all that much, but when ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain, it does matter. And that's kind of how I came to the conclusion that I needed something different. So this pillow you can inflate. It's got kind of an oral inflation valve here. You just blow into it, and you can inflate the pillow and alternate how inflated it is based on how much air you put in it or take out. But I do like that it has its own internal stuff sack, and it's from Nemo again. Even before I experimented with either of these two things, I used to have this old inflatable blow-up camp pillow, which I hated. It was super uncomfortable. I never liked it, but I did always like how flat it folded and how much space it didn't take up. But it is heavier than the Tyvek stuff sack, but not as heavy as the Nemo. I don't know the exact weight on this. I do know these two, but that it really isn't even an option for me. I don't take it anymore. It's just kind of something I had in my gear over there that I wanted to talk about on Pillow Talk here on Gear Tasting. So the big topic of discussion today is the Sea to Summit Aeros pillow. So other than the ability to inflate it, I like that it's got kind of this dual way valve on it. So what this allows you to do is inflate and deflate. And what I like is that it's a one-way check valve. So meaning that when you put air into it, it's not going to put the air back out. And that's something that you don't get. I'm going to make sure before I say this. Yeah, so this doesn't have a one-way valve, meaning that as soon as you breathe air into it, you have to kind of hurry up and cap it off if you overinflate it. Same with like this type of design too. It's the same principle. It's just like your floaties in the pool, same type of thing. So with this, it's got this one-way valve. So when you breathe air into it, it doesn't let the air back out. It holds that air in there, but it's kind of got a dump valve as a secondary. So you open up the second valve, and that's where you can squeeze the air out, which I think is pretty nifty. I really liked the valve feature on it, which is why I paid too much money for it. So with about 2 breaths, you can inflate the pillow, which it's super quick. I like the texture of the material that I'm actually putting my head on, and I like that it flexes a little bit too, because that's a big thing for me too. And then I like that by opening this check valve and pressing this little dot on the inside, you can just barely, you can hear that, let out just a little bit of air. So you can kind of flex your pillow into the exact kind of, I guess, amount of air that you would like to lay your head on. So that is a cool feature in my opinion. I also weighed this thing without this little stuff sack, and it was really negligible. It's like the advertised weight on this is 2.1 ounces, and I got 2 ounces on the weight with the stuff sack. So, and then I took the stuff sack off, and I still got 2 ounces. So whether it was the scale or not, I don't really know, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it in the stuff sack because I think it's kind of a negligible weight when it comes to that. Obviously, I could just run it without that, fold it up and take it like this in my gear. But, again, it is a pillow. It's something I'm going to be laying my head on at night, and if I don't have to get it, if I can keep dampness and moisture and things like that off of it, I'll probably just sacrifice the extra 0.02 ounces or whatever it is. So some of the other specs that they say on here is that it's got curved baffles that create contours. You can rest your head on at night. And then talked about the valve. And so the fabric on it is a 20D polyester denier. And it's got scalloped edges so that you can center the pillow over your shoulders, just in case you're wondering about that. But anyway, so that's kind of what I wanted to go over on this here Pillow Talk on Gear Tasting. So I know that topic of discussion is not something you might have expected on Gear Tasting, but I think it's important. Like I said, I'm kind of a stickler for the whole lightweight backpacking thing, or ultra lightweight, if you will, and I really like the innovation here with Sea to Summit. I swear by their dry bags too. I really like them as a company. I think they make really good stuff, so I kind of didn't hesitate to pull the trigger on the expensive pillow. But just in case you're wondering about measurements, it has those on here too. I thought I'd at least give those to you too. It's 14.2 inches by 10.2 inches by 4.7 inches. And I did see that there was another size there too. I was actually going to look in their little catalog. Yeah, so they make a ultralight, which is this one, and then they make a premium, which I think has a little bit more padding on it and things like that. They also make some travel pillows and things like that if you're interested in checking those out. But like I said, they're really known for their dry bags. Those are their weatherproof dry bags, and I have a couple of them. I've very much enjoyed them. I've never had an issue with them either. They also make sleeping pads and sleeping bags and things like that too. So definitely check out Sea to Summit. All right, guys, the last thing I wanted to kind of touch on gear tasting is just kind of an upgrade that I'm working on right now with my chest rig that I've been running. As you guys know, I kind of favor mass gray as a color, and LBT is really the only manufacturer out there making stuff in mass gray. So I jumped at the chance that they offered a 1961 the other day in a sale. Super great price, but it's the 1961 they released is the zip front. So I'm actually going to get the number on this because I think they have a label in the pocket. Okay, I'm wrong. There's a label on this somewhere. I know there is, but anyway. I was going to give you the letter designator on the 1961 because they typically have different letter designators. And I think this is where the label is in this one. This is an A. So 1961A is what I've been running. And this is the, who knows what, 1961. So at any rate, I'm trying to catch myself. All right. The upgrade the reason I purchased this is not just because I needed another chest rig. It's because kind of I've talked about this in the past. It was I kind of compared Mayflower chest rigs that I really like a lot too, which is now Velocity Systems. I like the fact that they have kind of this docking feature on their chest rigs, and while this chest rig, the new 1961, doesn't necessarily do that, there is some potential for that if I made some modifications to my kit, which I'm not really looking to do right now, but if I needed to, I could switch this buckle pattern around. So I could get a stitch bitch to basically sew this up for me. I could take the male buckle, replace it here, put the female on this end, and then have female 1.5 inch buckles, and these are 1.5 inch, I think. Yeah, because these are not 2 inch. 1.5 inch buckles on a, something like this plate carrier. I don't know if you can see that over there. Anyway, have a plate carrier from LBT over there. So that's an option. What I don't like kind of immediately with this upgrade is this. So this really shakes a lot. I could remedy that situation by just taking a piece of gaffer's tape or duct tape or 100-mile-an-hour tape and wrapping it around the buckle, and I'd still probably be able to depress it to use the cutaway feature from the buckle. But as it sits right now, I really don't like that rattling, but that's just me. One of the reasons that I did buy this, though, is the zipper in the front. So this chest rig's great. It's just kind of a real big pain to take on and off if I'm wearing a plate carrier or something like that. I ran into that at that night vision course I was running. It was a pain, taking that off, basically, ditching it, versus donning it. Every time that I'd have to, get a rest period or something like that, I did want to take off the chest rig. And most of the time I wouldn't take it off because of how complicated it was. So the zipper on the front of this 1961 allows you to just basically cut this away, and I could just, step right out of the rig that I had on versus having to pull it up over my head. So that's a huge benefit to me of this zipper. I do wish that on the zipper that they have here that they would have included some way of securing it. So that the zipper didn't come up. At least it zips down so that gravity will carry it down if it does. But some complaints that people have had with zippers on chest rigs too is that you can get all kinds of corrosion and things like that in it. But this is a plastic zipper, so you're not going to get the saltwater corrosion if you were in the ocean or something like that. That's my friend Nick's complaint, is that that can corrode, and zippers are just terrible for things like that. But if you're not using it around salt water in the water, it's less of a concern. But I do wish there was some kind of secondary retention on there, like the Mayflower rig that's like that I have has a little G hook right there. So it does have a G hook that kind of secures that. So in the event this did get unzipped all the way, just kind of show you real quick, it's still holding because of that G hook that you can basically take off there too. So I wish it did have some kind of secondary retention, but I do like this. I'm looking forward to kind of checking it out to see how well this works as an upgraded chest rig. I do like this 1961 because it has one compartment that, you know, where I carry my compass and map and kind of, admin supplies and things like that, versus I've got kind of two distinct areas on this. So I'm interested to check it out. It could be kind of a an interesting upgrade. There it is. There's the label right there. How did I miss that? 1961A-R is what this new one is. So anyhow, that's just a little update on the chest rig scenario with the LBT stuff that I run. All right, guys, thanks for watching Gear Tasting. So we're taking a little bit of a break. Christmas is coming up. New Year's is coming up. We typically kind of wind things down content-wise a little bit over the holidays so we can give everyone time with their families. But also there is the Mammoth Sniper Challenge coming up in January, so we are going to resume gear tasting after the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. I may try to do some stuff from the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. I don't know how much I'm going to get done because I'm going to be focused on the event. But in any case, if you are out there, come find me. I will have a little booth set up. We're a sponsor this year of Mammoth Sniper Challenge, so come find me. Come say hi, and I'll have a little booth set up. I think it's on the 0 range at Mammoth the first day. So taking a break from that, we will be back after that with more episodes of Gear Tasting. And as a reminder, do not forget to enter the giveaway for the GoRuck pack that we talked about on the last episode of Gear Tasting. Details will be below in the description. And as always, use the # Gear Tasting on any social media network. If you got questions, we'll answer them on Gear Tasting. And we didn't really do that this time, but typically we do. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy what we're doing, please consider joining the Crew Leader membership, which is below in the description in a link. And we have a new support button on YouTube if you're interested in supporting the show monetarily like that. Thank you very much.